M3GAN Uncut, the version with a little bit more color. M3GAN was released in 2023 and was originally released with a PG-13 rating. Now, in my initial review of the film, I stated that this was a smart choice by the filmmakers. At the time, I felt that adding more blood and gore and violence would be too much of a tonal shift for the lighthearted movie that we were given in the first half of the film. But now 2 years later, and M3GAN 2.0 coming out in theaters, has my thoughts changed? Now, before I get deep into this review, let's be honest. The differences between the uncut and the theatrical version are very minimal. Aside from a couple extra shots, a lot of language,
Property.
Tear your head right off your neck.
Get me a boot job!
and a little more blood spatter, both versions essentially offer the same movie. So with that in mind, let's go right into the positives. First positive I have, surprise surprise, is the gore itself. When viewing the unrated cut, I was pleasantly surprised to see that the filmmakers did not overuse the blood or the gore, and surprisingly it was very tame for what was originally intended to be a rated R movie. Additionally, I feel like some of the performances are enhanced in this uncut version, specifically the elevator scene where M3GAN corners one of the employees. I feel like the actor does a much better job of conveying the terror and the shock of the moment versus the original cut where it looks like he's about to break down in tears.
Gonna cry?
So while it is very subtle, and some audience members may not care or even notice, it was a small detail that I kind of liked and appreciated. Now moving on to the mixed aspects, and for this I have two. The first being the language. In my initial viewing of the uncut version, the language did feel quite jarring. Since before then, my only experience with the film was the theatrical version where all the language was trimmed and cut out. Now upon the second viewing, it wasn't as bad as I remembered. A lot of the language is given to one specific character and a comedic sort of bit that is ongoing throughout the movie, so I feel like it kind of worked in the film's favor the way they used the language. However, I can see some people having the reaction that I did with it being jarring and feel like the film was overcompensating for an R rating. And now, my final mixed aspect, the infamous ear scene.
Are you listening?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. I've been physically abused in the ear.
In this uncut version, we do get a little bit more blood and a little bit more gore with the boy's ear being torn off, which in my opinion is 10 times better than the theatrical version where it just stretches like a piece of bubblegum. And while I do like this addition of a couple more extra shots of the blood and gore, I do feel like they linger on the moment far too long, disturbing the pacing of the moment. In the theatrical version, after the boy gets his ear torn off, there's only 1 or 2 seconds of him sitting on the ground in shock and fear. M3GAN immediately gets up and starts chasing after him. Versus the uncut version, where he has a few more seconds where he's sitting there and not really reacting to the moment. And I feel like that slower pace did not work in the scene's favor whatsoever. So, 2 years later, with the uncut version available on Blu-ray, has my thoughts on this film changed regarding its PG-13 rating? Slightly. While I do appreciate the filmmaker showed restraint and not making it too gory or bloody, I do not feel like there was enough added or enough there to justify an R rating. As mentioned in my original review, I felt it would be an unwise decision to basically isolate an entire demographic of teens and young adults just for the sake of a couple more shots of blood, gore, and as before mentioned, unnecessary language. But if I am honest, when I go to watch this movie again, I will probably pick the uncut version over the theatrical. But that's just me. Thank you very much guys for watching. Please like, share, subscribe. Drop a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on the uncut version of this movie. Do you like the uncut version, the theatrical version, the version with a little bit more blood, or the version with a little bit more restraint and storytelling? As always, thank you for your time, and God bless.